And we're back. Welcome to another segment of Make It Memorable. To continue on with what we're talking about with the virtual dinner party, our next portion will be all about communicating. So in this portion, we're going to talk about sending out your invites, sending reminders, and really getting prepped for the day of the virtual event.
Yes, it is so important, Brianna, that if you're going to have a virtual dinner party, you want to make sure that people know you're having a party and that they actually show up. And that takes a lot of strategic and intentional communication. And so I know there's plenty of times in life where we're like, oh, I want to do something, but we don't necessarily communicate to people what it is that we're wanting. So if you want to have a successful virtual dinner party, you've got to make sure you communicate. And that starts with understanding your timeline. So the first thing that we recommend is 2 weeks, right? So you want to make sure that your invitations go out at least 2 weeks in advance. So you're giving people enough time to get scheduled. Now, for people that, as we get into the holiday season, I recommend maybe 2 to 4 weeks because people's schedules are going to get filled up. So you want to make sure you give them plenty of time to put it on their calendar and notice it.
Definitely. And one thing I just want to add is that with the virtual events, people they assume that, you don't have to follow up as much because it's a little more relaxed of a setting. You're at home, you're comfortable, but it's just as important to make sure you're sending out invitations well in advance and sending reminders so that way your guests don't forget and they're prepared to really take part in the event in the way that you envision it coming together.
Yes, because this is what you put into it, right? And when you put a lot into it, you want people to get a lot out of it. But if you're not building an expectation and getting them excited, like you want them to be excited about the experience. Like for me, I'll tell you, Thanksgiving is like my event of the year, okay? It is my Super Bowl. And I start talking about Thanksgiving probably in like September with the people and the guests that I'm going to have. And once we hit like October, like right now, we are in peak expectation building season, right? So like we are texting each other and we're like, oh my God, I can't wait till Thanksgiving. This is, how about this? How about that? Like we're keeping people engaged, those who are going to be there. And it's my, my nieces and my nephews because of course social distancing. It's got to be small, right? But we're like building that expectation. And so you want to build that expectation with the people that you're inviting. So you don't want to send them an invitation, set it and forget it. If you set it and forget it, they're going to forget it.
And it really just keeps them excited. Again, like with the virtual atmosphere, you really want people to get involved. So like we talked about with the scarves and just the drinks and things like that, the more excitement you put into it, the more your guests are going to be excited. And it really just helps the overall event be successful.
Yeah, so 2 weeks, at least a minimum of 2 weeks, you want to send your invitations out. The next thing that you want to do is you want to send out some type of communication that communicates your shareable bonding moment. So we decided for ours that we were going to do the hot cider with the whipped cream topping. Yum! So for that event, about a week out of that, so a week prior to the event happening, you want to be able to send out some type of communication that says, hey, this is our signature beverage that we're going to have. We're going to encourage you to make this at home and have it available for your event, right? You're going to send them the recipe, make sure that they have all the tools and resources, and you can get as creative as you want. You can make a video recipe and then send them the instructions, or you can just send them the recipe, using Canva, create a nice graphic and send it out to your list of people who were invited.
Yeah, definitely. And even if you're on campus at college, like we mentioned in the previous videos, be sure to be on the lookout for your campus's Thanksgiving premium meal. See what they're having in store. Make sure that all of your friends know about what's going on in the dining hall. That way you guys are all on the same page and can really utilize the resources on campus to make that event very special.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. And so once you do that and you have those things together, the next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you have your reminders. That's where sometimes we lose it because we forget about the reminders, right? So you want to make sure that you remind your guests about a week out. So the beginning of that week, you want to let them know, hey, don't forget Tuesday or Wednesday, we're having our event. The day before, you want to send out another reminder so that they don't forget. And then for your people who are busy and on the go, I always recommend sending out one final, hey, don't forget, I'll see you soon. And usually I would give it about an hour to 30 minutes prior. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. That's enough time. Even if they forgot the event, that gives them enough time to pull together and still be a part of it.
Right. So you want to make sure you have those reminders in there so that your guests actually show up and they're there. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you're communicating as the party starts. You're greeting them and the communication just stays there. So communication is such a critical key. This is the third piece of the 4 quadrants of creating a memorable virtual dinner party. So the first one was your actual planning. Your second one was creation or creating. Your third part, which we just talked about, was your actual communicating. And then your last one is what?
The parties. Yes, so get ready, everyone. The next one, we're going to talk about how to bring your party together and have a great time at your virtual event.
All right, we'll see you on the next episode.